Richard Ramirez emerged in 1984 as one of the most unpredictable criminals American law enforcement had ever seen. Acting completely alone, he drifted through the streets of Southern California, choosing his victims not through personal connection or preference, but through opportunity and vulnerability. His crimes began as scattered attacks with no clear pattern. In one neighborhood, he would break into a home silently, taking valuables and slipping back into the night. In another, he would launch brutal assaults that left investigators frustrated by the sheer randomness of his target selection. The fact that Ramirez operated without a partner made him even more elusive. Every decision, every movement, every crime was carried out by one man, leaving no secondary witnesses, no extra mistakes, and no accomplice trails for investigators to follow. While Ramirez had no criminal team, the task force assembled to stop him became one of the most coordinated in California's history. Detectives from multiple departments, Los Angeles, San Francisco, local sheriff's offices combined resources as they realized the same unknown suspect was leaving behind chaos across a massive geographic area. Investigators studied the footprints, fingerprints, ballistic evidence, and stolen items left at various scenes, slowly tying together cases that initially seemed unrelated. Detectives noticed the rare obvious sneaker print appearing repeatedly. It's a crucial clue that allowed them to connect a growing list of crimes to one person. Crime analysts, homicide investigators, forensic technicians, and patrol officers formed an official Night Stalker detail, working non-stop to anticipate his next move, even though Ramirez himself offered no discernible pattern for them to predict. Ramirez's personal plan, if it could be called that, was built on disorder. He purposely avoided consistency. He sometimes used guns, other times knives, and occasionally blunt objects found inside his victims' homes. He would strike in wealthy neighborhoods one night and lower-income communities the next. This unpredictability wasn't accidental. It was strategic. By refusing to follow any routine, Ramirez made it extremely difficult for investigators to profile him. He didn't study victims for long periods. He simply walked through neighborhoods until he found an unlocked window, a poorly lit property, or a house that seemed isolated. His method was simple but terrifying. Get in quickly, strike violently, steal anything valuable, and vanish before anyone had time to react. As months passed, the Night Stalker task force grew increasingly desperate. City residents lived with windows nailed shut and doors reinforced. Neighborhood watches multiplied. Hardware stores sold out of locks, alarms, and security bars. But Ramirez continued slipping between cities Monterey Park, Northridge, Arcadia. Mission Viejo, leaving investigators scrambling to connect each new crime scene to the growing Night Stalker file. The turning point came when a survivor provided a clear description of the attacker, giving police a human face for the first time. Shortly after, a fingerprint recovered from a stolen car matched a record belonging to Richard Ramirez, a drifter with a history of burglary and violence. Once Ramirez was identified, the full force of the task team and media exposure closed in on him. His mugshot was released publicly, splashed across newspapers and broadcast on every Los Angeles television station. On August 31, 1985, after attempting to steal a car in East Los Angeles, Ramirez was recognized by civilians who had seen his face in the news. He tried to flee, running through streets and backyards, but a group of residents subdued him and held him until police arrived. In the end, the man who had terrorized millions was caught not by an accomplice, as a mistake or a slip in his own planning, but by the combined effort of a community and the relentless teamwork of the investigators pursuing him. Ramirez's arrest ended one of California's most chaotic crime sprees. But his trial revealed the full scope of his actions: murders, attempted murders, assaults, and burglaries committed by a single individual determined to operate with maximum unpredictability. Convicted in 1989 and sentenced to death, he spent more than 2 decades on death row before dying of lymphoma in 2013. The Night Stalker case remains one of the most infamous examples of a lone predator outmaneuvering citywide law enforcement efforts until persistence. Cooperation and public vigilance brought him down.